So cannabis or marijuana is also very complicated in that the federal government, considers it to be again a Schedule One illicit substance, and yet it is, legally available for adults in many states now across the United States, many jurisdictions across the U.S. So what's interesting is that when SAMHSA, I remember the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, that arm of HHS, that conducts that annual survey of drug use, and they consider marijuana to be an illicit substance. So everybody in the entire country, whether it is legal or not in where you live, who consumes marijuana is considered to be illicitly, using or abusing, that drug. So they actually, marijuana then of course ends up as the most commonly used illicit substance according to that annual survey, drug use and health, that national, survey of drug use and health, the NSDUH. And so, this is in contrast. They try to minimize, the horrific damage, or there's certainly, it seems as if there's efforts to minimize the horrific damage done by opioids. SAMHSA actually says misuse of prescription psychotherapeutic drugs is second only to marijuana as the nation's most prevalent illicit drug use. However, they report like a fraction of those who are receiving prescriptions, sometimes chronically, for opioids. They may be, 100% sort of dependent, have a significant opioid use disorder, but they only take a small fraction, of the overall numbers of Americans. Because actually, if you start looking at those statistics, it's rather frightening how many Americans, like almost half of Americans, actually are consuming, some sort of prescription opioid. That's an enormous industry. And they certainly don't, sort of allege that everybody who gets an opioid for something is, illicitly consuming the drug, right? But every single person, who takes marijuana in this country, even if it's an illegal, region where, they're allowed as adults to consume it, is considered to be an illicit drug user. So again, marijuana ends up with, the biggest chunk by far, of illicit drug use in the United States.